Hey guys, what's up? PipSnipers here, back for another update. Let's take a look at Bitcoin over here. And I'm going to show you this analysis on a fresh chart. We're going to do this analysis right from scratch. So what we have over here is an ABC to the upside, right? So this is your A, B, and then your C wave up, right? You then have another ABC down, and we did this as a flat pattern. So this is your 3 down, 3 up to the upside, and then a 5-wave move to the downside. Okay, and then for your C wave, we have a 5-wave move. So this would be your wave 1, your wave 2, your 3rd, 4th, and then your 5th wave comes in right over here, just like that. Okay, now within this 5th wave, what we have is 5 subwaves that are very apparent. So this actually looks like a wave 5 extension, right over here. And then you have what's called an ending diagonal, where the waves overlap each other. So I'll make this black so you guys can see and differentiate between the waves, just like that. Okay, and you see how the waves are overlapping here, like this? Whenever Bitcoin does this near a wave 5 or within a wave 5 at the highs, it likely doesn't continue to go higher. Okay, you likely see a breakdown from this wedge in a very violent manner. And we have this ending diagonal here. So this would be your 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have your 5th wave up here. And usually what you have with ending diagonals is you have what's called an overthrow or an overshoot of the pattern to the upside. And this is usually where you have a lot of bullish sentiment. Yeah, a lot of retail pile in. They think it's going to continue to go up, going to go to the moon. But whenever you have an ending diagonal in which the waves overlap each other, near a 5th wave especially, you're going to have that overthrow. Any price action above the wedge would likely be manipulation before we have distribution and continuation downwards. Okay, so this wedge over here is your manipulation. Sorry, this box over here, so the price action above the wedge would be considered your manipulation. So this yellow box, we can consider it as just noise. Okay, so that over there was your wave 5 of 5, and I'm confident in that because we not only went up in a 3-wave move, but we swept the adjacent high, or in other words, our buy side liquidity. Okay, so this is your adjacent high, and what we have is sell stops that are above this high, and we took out those sell stops, and we can also call this our buy side liquidity. Okay, so our buy side liquidity was taken right over here, and we also wicked up into the 70.2 to 78.6% retracement when we measure the move from July 29th down to August 5th. Okay, so you see how we came up towards the 786, 886 region right over here, just like that. So as long as we're below 67,218 on the daily time frame, then we must assume that this is the top. Okay, because we have an ending diagonal and we were unable to get above 67,218. Moreover, we did this on declining volume. Okay, so let's take a look here at the volume. Let me just add it over here. So we can we'll take a look at it on another chart here, because this doesn't have the volume indicator. So we'll take a look here. Okay, let me just delete all this. Okay, so you see how we advanced here on declining volume? If we look here on the daily, the volume is declining, you see? Declining volume, even though we're advancing towards resistance. Okay, so the price is advancing higher even though the volume is declining. So just something to be mindful of going forward. Okay, let's drop down here to the 2-hour time frame. And we can also take a look here at the RSI. So this is the RSI over here. And you see how we're continuing to slowly grind up here, continuing to make higher highs, consecutive higher highs. But we have negative divergence. You guys see that? Okay, this is the 2-hour time frame. Let's take a look at the 4-hour. Okay, higher high on the price. Higher high on the price, even though the RSI is number one remaining flat. And then we also have negative divergence to go along with it. Okay, right over here. So this would be your ABC up. So you have your 3 up for your A, 3 down for your B, and then 5 wave move to the upside, sweeping your buy side liquidity. Okay, this is your ABC. Okay. So far, let's taking a look at this chart without any bias, right? And I'll give you guys the bullish scenario as well, right? Taking a look at this chart without any bias, what do we see in front of us? We only see 3 waves up, okay, which fits the criteria of a corrective move up. Okay, we don't see 5 waves, we see 3 waves. We're advancing towards resistance on declining volume, negative divergence, and we've also swept our buy side liquidity, and we're still below the 88.6% fib at 67,218. Okay, so as long as we're below 67,218 on the daily time frame, then it's likely we're going to see a little bit of a throwback. Now, in regards to the bullish scenario would state that this is your, instead of this being an A wave, this is your wave 1. Instead of this being a B wave, this is your wave 2. And we're currently grinding out our 3rd wave to the upside. This is your wave 1 of 3. We're going to come down for a wave 2 of 3, wave 3 of 3, 4 of 3, 5 of 3, and so forth. Okay? The only issue with that scenario is that if we were to come down here, it would likely be to around the 50 to 61.8% fib on the logarithmic scale at 59,000 and 57,488. As soon as you lose this region over here, then it likely means that this is your ABC, and we're going to come down to meet these lows here at 52,500. Okay, now what I would be expecting, my personal bias, is that as long as we're below 67,218 on the daily time frame on a closing basis, then it's likely we're going to come down towards the 50 to 61.8% fib. Lose the 50 and 61.8% fib, then it likely means that this was an ABC and not an impulsive move to the upside. Now, we have hit the 61.8% fib when we measure the move from January, the beginning of the year, to March. Okay, you see how we So we'll take a look at this on the logarithmic scale. So you see how we perfectly hit the 618 there. I'll make the fib black so you guys can see. You see how we perfectly hit the 618 here at 49,519. If you go below 57,845, then it's likely will come down towards the 702 at 46,898 and sweep the lows one more time before we continue higher. Okay, and it would look something like this. Okay, so this is your low right over here. It's a major psychological low. Okay, so what we would likely see is something like this, right over here. What we would likely see if we went below the 50 and 61.8% fib. Okay? We would come down like this. This would likely be a failure to break or failure to make a change of character. Then we come down over here. But we would sweep this low over here towards the 702, like this. Okay? At 46,898. So remember, as long as we're below 67,218, then it's likely we're going to come down towards 59,431 and 57,845. As soon as you lose these two levels over here, then it likely means we're going to come down to meet these lows and sweep the sell side towards the 702 at 46,898, found by taking a fib from our January low up to our March high. Okay? So I'm cautiously optimistic here. Okay, now when we zoom in here on the hourly time frame, what do we see? Well, we see a wedge. Okay, this is your wedge right here. Now, if this wedge was forming near support, it would be bullish. However, we have a wedge like this at the highs. So usually what I've noticed from my experience in crypto, whenever you have a wedge like this at the highs and there's a lot of air below, it likely means that it's going to break down from it. Okay, now we can take a fib from this high over here down to this low, and we have hit the 50 to 61.8% fib. You see how we just wicked towards that 50%. Now, so I showed you guys Bitcoin, and remember, if it were to come down, just know that we're still macro bullish. If it were to come down towards 46, we would still be printing a bullish descending broadening wedge. Okay, this is your bullish descending broadening wedge over here, just like this. Okay, and then you'd have something like this, right? This is your first low, this is your second low, your high, and then you have continuation up from there. Okay, still be a bullish descending broadening wedge. You have your A, B, C, D, and E wave, just like that. Okay, we came down in a 3-wave move for each of the subwaves. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Could have another 3 down, right? Just be open-minded to that possibility. Okay, my job is to show you possibilities rather than tell you we're going to the moon or we're just going to continue to go down forever, right? My job is to show you what I see on the chart, and I'm showing you these possibilities. So remember, this is either an impulsive move up or a corrective one. An impulsive move up we would need more confirmation. That confirmation would be a daily close above 67,218. Okay. Let's take a look at USDT dominance, because that's a very integral part of a well-rounded analysis in crypto. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at USDT DOM. And what we see over here, so now I know I said that USDT DOM may have topped in my previous videos. However, I want to give you a little bit of an alternate perspective. All right. So this over here was when USDT DOM bottomed out. That's when Bitcoin topped out in March. It looks like we're going up in a 5-wave move in a bearish ascending broadening wedge. However, there is a possibility that the top is not in yet on USDT DOM, and I'll show you why. So you're going to have an ABC for each of the subwaves. So you have an A, B, C up for your A, B, C down for your B, another A, B, C up for your C, and then you have another A, B, C down for your D. So A, B, C, 3 down in your A, 3 up in your B, and then a 5-wave move to the downside for your C. Okay? Now we're just missing the E wave. And that E wave would take us above this high at 6.61% towards 7.27. And this fib was found by taking a fib from the very high here. So the very high down to the low. You see, we already hit the 50%. We hit it over here on August 5th. But what if we come up towards the 61.8% fib and then drop from there? You see what I'm saying? Moreover, when we zoom in a little bit, let's zoom in here to the 2-hour time frame. We did sweep the adjacent low. Okay, so this is your low over here. So I'll show you guys from here. You have your 3 down in your A, 3 up in your B, and then a 5-wave move to the downside within your C, with your C sweeping your sell side liquidity, or in other words, your adjacent low, right over here. You see how we swept it right over here? Now, when we take a look at the daily, we do see a little bit of an uptick in the price. Okay, this is now two green daily candles so far. Yesterday was a green candle. Today will likely close as a green candle, and we would be expecting, or I would be expecting, a move towards 6.1% to take out this internal range liquidity, with your draw on liquidity being the 702, measured from this high down to this low. Okay, so I just want to give you guys this possibility, right? There is a possibility it just continues to go lower. However, considering all the things that we have on the chart, let's not discount the idea of one more drive to the upside, and then this bull run starting off in the later half of October, going into elections. Okay? So this is my video today on Bitcoin and USDT dominance. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know, and I will definitely keep you guys updated. If I don't, it's just because I am busy with my Discord members and keeping them informed. So if you want to stay updated with the analysis, then definitely click the link in the description below to join the Discord. Peace out and take it easy. See you in the next one.